Hello and welcome back to what we've been watching with me, Nathaniel, and my wonderful, such enviable hair, Andrew Fripp.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
You're so welcome. I tell you what's not that enviable at the moment, Andrew.
Tell me.
The current state of Doctor Who.
You're very right, Nathaniel. Tell me more about that. I know it's been picked up for a continuation of some kinds, but there's been a lot of changes, hasn't there, in the world of Doctor
That's
Who?
correct. So, it was announced this week that Doctor Who will be coming back. The last episode was released in May of this year, 2025, and it's coming back at Christmas. A month away, you're thinking. But
I
it's
am.
not this year. Christmas 2026.
Ah, okay. I suspected as
As
much.
well as that, we will have no more Disney involvement. They have pulled out of the deal. So they have 5 more episodes of that deal to release, which will be coming soon. And then they are out. So the future of Doctor Who in terms of international distribution is up in the air right now. And it's a bit up in the air as to what will happen after this Christmas special. So where do you currently stand with Doctor Who?
I'm disillusioned with Doctor Who now. I think I was very excited when David Tennant was coming back and Catherine Tate. I enjoyed the anniversary specials for the most part. They got progressively worse as I went on, and actually, Ncuti Gatwa's 2 seasons followed suit, with a few exceptions to that. I thought season 2 started strong. There was even a few episodes in season 1 I could see promise in, but all in all, and probably even including the anniversary specials, which I probably enjoyed more at the time because David Tennant was back, but all in all, I think RTD's revival has been weak to middling at best. And
RTD, for anyone who doesn't know, is Russell T Davies.
yes, he's a very talented writer, and he obviously did incredible things when he came back in the mid 2000s. Yeah, I just haven't enjoyed it. I'm quite disillusioned with the series now, and I think a lot of drastic changes need to be made in order to hold my interest and bring it back into the collective mind of the viewing public. At this point, I think they've really ruined the brand for a multitude of reasons. That's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. I would agree. I think I was really excited whenever Russell T Davies was announced to come back. And then having David Tennant back, I thought, okay, it's an anniversary year. You can get away with doing that. That could lead to some interesting story potential. I enjoy those 3 anniversary specials, but in my opinion, they never quite did hit the stories that they could have hit with bringing those 2 characters back.
Yep.
There was so much more that could have been done. And then Gatwa, I think, had potential, but it just didn't ever arrive. And there was good episodes. Season
Yeah.
1 had Boom by Stephen Moffat. He came back to do an episode, which I think is great.
And
Then
I
season
think
2, I think, was really good up until you get to those last 2 episodes. They just sort of messed it up for everything that came before.
it was insane. There was an insane amount of stuff going on that just didn't
Yeah.
need to be there. And I just thought it's almost like they knew the Disney budget was running out. So they thought, let's just build some sets and get some VFX in there just for the sake of it.
It screams to me of it's the worst kept secret that Gatwa kind of what wasn't forced to leave. Forced is the wrong word, but that it wasn't exactly entirely his decision because Disney were trailing their feet. He was getting offered other work. You're not going to turn down other work just to no matter how much you love this franchise.
Yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
want to
want,
keep going.
because maybe if they'd have said to him, look, we want to give you two other seasons and we want to stay on and we want to push this. We know it's having a bit of a lull and hasn't been received that well, but what if we brought in an entirely new writing team, or if they threw
Yeah,
everything at him, I think he may have stayed. But at the same time, his star is rising.
but I think also outside of that as well, because a lot of people will blame Disney and be like, "Oh, well, Disney dragged their feet, renew him," which I agree with. They did. They could have let the BBC know earlier, especially if the rumor is that they were starting to feel this way after the end of season 1. But
Yeah.
I also think if you only get 20, how many episodes is it? It's 20 to 25 episodes overall, including the spin off that we'll talk about in a bit. Don't set up loads of strands that will go beyond 2 seasons. create a nice 2-season arc that you could, if you have to, wrap a Doctor up in and make it pleasing for the audience. What Russell T Davies did is went in full of gusto, full of confidence, thinking, "Oh, well, this will never die," and he just went balls to the wall, threw everything at it, including the kitchen sink. And there's so many strands now that either have to be tied up in one episode, or they're just going to be left there, and it'll be one of those things where when you look at the show, this is such a weird part. If you were to look back on the history of the show, this is such a weird part of the history of the show to look back on.
Yeah, and leaving it on such a cliffhanger as well that we can all tell in retrospect was just added on just as some sort of bait for anyone who was watching to go, oh God, we need to see a resolution to that. When in reality, what they've done is possibly written themselves into another convoluted mess that we kind of have to resolve. If you're continuity minded, as a lot of Doctor Who fans are, it would be disrespectful to the fan base and to all of the viewers to not acknowledge it and kind of just forget about it. But if I was the new showrunner, or if I had that task, it would be very, very tempting for me to just ignore Billie Piper at the end. It would be very, very tempting for me actually to just pick up after Whittaker's final season, and I would just probably change the regeneration and get rid of Tennant as well. And I would just start. I would just omit everything that happened. And I know that sounds really bad because it was great to see Tennant and Donna back, but in retrospect, what we had after, it was just not worth having them back. In my opinion, it ruined a lot of things.
I would agree. I don't think, like, if they said to me tomorrow, okay, Nathaniel, you're in charge, continue this show after Russell T Davies does his Christmas special, I wouldn't get rid of any. Like, I wouldn't be like out in the public going, this is gone, this is gone. I just wouldn't in the show acknowledge it for a very, very long time, if ever. I would basically do a complete reset of the show, and not just where I can say to the public, this is a reset like they did with season 1, but like an actual full-blown reset. The only thing you have is the Doctor, companion, TARDIS.
Yeah.
New TARDIS interior, new screwdriver, just complete fresh start, like Christopher Eccleston coming in. The only classic villain you're allowed is the Daleks in that first season.
Yeah, and I would have a really comical line where someone just goes, "Oh, Doctor, you remember the whole timeless child thing? Well, the Master just made that up. It's not real."
Well, I actually...
Come on, Doctor.
Because I get sad and lonely some nights, so I do think about this. I figured out how I would get rid of that if I wanted to, if I was in charge. You know, because first of all, I'd bring Gallifrey back.
Yeah,
and I'd have a wee short story in the series where it's like, oh, the reason Gallifrey was destroyed the second time, which really annoyed me, because narratively it didn't make any sense. Retroactively, I would go, Gallifrey is always destined to be destroyed. And that's how you explain it being destroyed twice. And that becomes a story arc of him trying to undo that thing that is set, that it must be destroyed. Because it makes it more interesting than just the Master. Oh, that's Whittaker's era. But
we've spoke about this. Gallifrey, apart from maybe in Capaldi's season a little bit, Gallifrey has never really been done right, in my opinion. We've never spent enough time there. But I know a lot of fans, I don't know whether you feel this way, but a lot of fans are like, they don't want to spend much time on Gallifrey. I
want them to have Gallifrey back. And then basically, once he has it back, he just goes, right, I'm out. I'm not staying here. These are here if I ever want to, if I ever get a bit homesick, which is rare. But you can be background players.
I don't think I ever really thought about Gallifrey until it was brought back in was it, what anniversary was it where we had all the Doctor?
Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, I love the Day of the Doctor. I love the opening. Yeah. I loved how cinematic it was with the Daleks and on Gallifrey, and watching it from actually watching the Time War after hearing so much about it. But I didn't want Gallifrey to feature or anything as much as I did until at the very end, where Matt Smith is, sort of says, "Now I know what I'm doing. I'm going home." And so that planted a seed in my mind, and it never really come to fruition. Because when we did see Gallifrey again, it was just like, why?
Because everybody was saying to Stephen Moffat, okay, so are we going to find Gallifrey? So Series 8 came after the 50th. Peter Capaldi's first season. And Stephen Moffat just said, "Well, no, because what's that going to be? Every episode he looks out of the TARDIS and go, oh, well, it's not here. It's not here. Like that would have been that story. Whereas what he did instead was he wrapped up all that angst of Last of the Time Lords on the 50th, and then gave us an epilogue of that story in Hellbent. And also in that story, he went, Gallifrey is here. We have got Time Lords in this episode, but fuck them. They don't matter. This is the Doctor and Companion story.
Yeah, and that's why I say it was nice to see Gallifrey in Capaldi's run, because it was kind of like how you wanted it. By the sound of it, it was there. They acknowledged it, but it was still very much a background to what was going on. So yeah, that's the closest I think we've got where it's just existing and it can be there. But I don't think it has to either be there or not be there.
No, exactly. And also, I really wish, because if Chibnall hadn't destroyed it, I think it would have been much more interesting to have Russell T Davies back, not writing a Last of the Time Lord Doctor, because he's already done that. He invented it, Last of the Time Lord Doctor. Also, I'm sick and tired of Gatwa going, the Last of the Time Lords. No, it has no meaning anymore.
I was just sick and tired of everything. I don't think I liked him from the very inception. And it probably wasn't even his fault, because I already had the bad taste in my mouth of this bi-generation. I mean, there's so many things that I just hated.
I didn't mind when bi-generation was first done. I didn't instantly hate it, because I thought this could lead to story and this could be developed further. But then that didn't happen. So I also think in retrospect, the bi-generation is kind of disrespectful to every other Doctor, because Gatwa didn't bi-generate. Well, as far as we know, right now he hasn't bi-generated. So it was just David Tennant. We're just keeping David Tennant on hold in case we need to bring him out at some point. There's no other ones.
It's just disrespectful to everything. That's everything we know or have come to know. Look, you can argue that when Russell T Davies come back and brought in the Time War, that he did the same thing. He completely changed everything.
But that had to be done though at that time.
Because it was, and it also wasn't at the expense of what had come before it. It didn't. It didn't change what we already had. It just honored the story while continuing it, which is what anybody wants to do when they revive a show. It's not alienating the original fans, but it's giving something new. So it's fresh and it's interesting. And I think, with Chibnall, you had The Timeless Child, which in a sense changed everything we knew to a degree, because it was just, I mean, in a weird way, I don't like it. I think if they did something interesting with it, I would like it, because it doesn't change everything we've seen. It just predates everything we've seen.
Adds some useless stuff.
Yeah, so you can kind of not acknowledge that, again, in theory. But in a weird way, I do like the idea that now not only have we got Gallifrey to go back to, but, well, what species is the Doctor? Where is his original home? So that's the most interesting thing about that, really, if I think about it. Yeah. But yeah, the bi-generation doesn't hit the same way. Like, I can't forgive that.
The only way they almost, in my eyes, almost did explain the bi-generation, but then they didn't commit to it, was because they are the Last of the Time Lords. It's their way of sort of continuing, like trying to continue on this, which I think is an interesting way to take a bi-generation and go, it's our way now. Because first of all, when I was watching the Reality War, and there's that big bit where the Doctor and the Rani go, we're infertile, we're sterile. I was genuinely, when they first said it, I was like, hang on, are they saying Time Lords have never been able to have kids? And then I was like, they mean from the genetic explosion thing that sort of has been changed. Pop quiz for you, actually, because this has just popped into my head. When Doctor Who came back in 2005, what was the first episode that Gallifrey's name was dropped?
I've no idea. It wasn't season 1, though, was it?
It was not. I think it might surprise you at actually how long it took for it to be dropped.
So, because he'd mentioned the planet, he'd mentioned the Time War, because obviously that was in the pilot episode. But you're telling me he never mentioned Gallifrey in sort of telling that story?
The name Gallifrey was only said in The Runaway Bride, Donna Noble's first episode, Catherine Tate's.
No way, that is incredible.
I know. Like, he held off saying that.
That is great. Because you would think in retrospect, well, it surely had been said before that point. I mean, at least with Billy, I would have presumed it would have been season 2 with Billy Piper and David Tennant.
I would have, because like it was something I read the other day, and I remember thinking I would have thought he would have said it around the Daleks or something.
Yeah,
but it's always just the Time War that gets referenced and the Time Lords.
It's interesting. That's mad.
Yeah. I didn't think Gallifrey would get such a big bit in this.
I know. So let's move on.
Yes.
Disney's departed. What do you think that means in terms of the BBC and moving forward internationally? What do you think is going to happen?
I think the real test is, now that Disney's gone, this Christmas special that's coming next year will be able to identify what has been Disney issues and what has been Russell T Davies issues. And I think Russell T Davies is a fantastic writer. I hate to say this, I think we're going to discover that a lot of the issues are Russell T Davies issues.
I would completely agree with you. I think he's just been given that much creative freedom that he hasn't been held account to any decisions he's made, maybe.
Exactly. He thinks, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. Whereas you look at what he's written since his original run on Doctor Who, and it's fantastic. Like, Years and Years is so good. It's a Sin, fantastic. You know, there's so much good in what he's done. That's why I was so excited to see him come back as showrunner, because I thought he did well the first time around with Doctor Who, but now he's written so much more. You know, he's developed his craft even more. But then watching it, I was like, oh, this is nobody. He has no oversight. No, he's got yes men around him who will just say, oh, that's brilliant, Russell. And he'll be sitting there going, oh, it's marvellous, isn't it? Yes, I bring back everyone. I was hooting at that. Absolutely hooting.
Yeah, you could imagine that it was a very auteur, I think I'm saying that correctly, writing room. Like, it was just loads of people in turtlenecks celebrating each other's incredible work on the show, when in reality it was just
and weirdly, my two favourite episodes of season 1 with Gatwa are the ones that aren't solely written by Russell T Davies.
Yeah,
so, Rogue and Boom.
Boom was great. I really like Boom, and Rogue, I don't like it as much as you do, but it has its moments.
I don't love it, but it's better than a lot of the other stuff we got that season.
Yeah, but Boom, to be honest with you, mate, Boom and the sequel story we got in season 2, not to Boom, but to, is it Midnight or?
The Well, the sequel to Midnight, yeah.
Boom
with the entity on.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people who really liked the first part didn't like the fact that it was a sequel or whatever, but I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you can watch them both separately. Like, watching The Well doesn't ruin Midnight for me.
No.
And Midnight is one of my favourite episodes of the show. I want them to do more stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
In the
self-contained,
future.
Because it's the show is built for a 45-minute, short, brisk.
Well, I think actually that's an interesting question. Going forward, how would you structure the show? Because I think the 45-minute to 50-minute runtime single part episode, it's time to put that to bed.
Yeah, if it was me, I would just do a straight hour. I mean, maybe even a little more, because we live in this world now of streaming where an episode can be released of a series and it can be 1 hour 20 minutes and it's normal. And then it can be 35 minutes. I think you know what show I'm referencing. The week after, including credits, but apparently that's fine. So it's like they're just. I feel like it feels like the people who make these shows are just pulling runtimes out of a hat at this point.
It really is, because to me, the benefit of streaming, being able to sort of have any runtime you like, is you can make that story concise and have it told in the time that's needed. Then there are so many things where I think that either needed more or that needed a bit less. And Doctor Who actually recently has been a prime example of that, because in the Devil's Cord episode, which is when they go back to meet the Beatles, I don't like that episode, but the Doctor says to Ruby, I told you the toy maker said his legions would come. Guess when he told her that? In a deleted scene for the Christmas special before that. in a deleted
Right.
scene.
That's great.
Mhm.
If for me it's quite simple. As if I was a showrunner, it's give me 10 episodes. We'll split the difference. Not a 12, not an 8. 10's fine. Give me
Mhm.
10 1-hour episodes of the Doctor.
Yeah, and
And
would you do sort of adventure of the week, monster of the week kind of story?
I would, yeah. But I would do, and this is what was so good about the 2000, revival. We had monsters of the week, but there was a through line throughout, and it was drip fed.
Mhm.
Bad Wolf. It was drip
Yeah.
fed, and it was slow, and it was methodical. So when you eventually got to it, it felt earned. But you could even go a 2-season arc before you get to that point. You can still have
No, yeah.
a good finale that isn't world ending. I don't think I would, if I could do
Yeah.
it, I would really love it to just be character driven. I'd want there to be a lot of slow moments where we get to know the Doctor and we get to know his companion, which is
Oh, like
I don't.
Hellbent?
Yeah, we haven't had we just haven't
Quality
had.
supremacy.
No, it was just, even like, I know a lot of people didn't like Silence, but
Mhm.
what I love about Capaldi is it just felt very Shakespearean, and you got to see so many different layers and variations of this one character.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it should be about, especially. Go on.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say that we're going to be. The good thing about Disney leaving, and I hope that BBC just deal with the international audience, much like they did with
Mhm.
BBC America, because arguably that was when it was at its height, was post David Tennant, and
Yeah,
with the
that's
introduction of Matt Smith. A lot of people
that's
overlook
when it
Matt
really
Smith's
got the
era.
international audience.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
it
think
became
that
massive in America with Matt Smith.
the BBC are recognisable enough that if the show's good enough back home, it will translate to the US. I think they can find that audience.
Yeah.
So
I
I would
mean,
like. I think being pigeonholed in the BBC, maybe solely being responsible again, makes the writers do more character-based stories because they're less
yeah.
reliant on budget. And I think I'd like to be boxed in that corner again, if I'm honest.
I would agree. Now, the only sort of, if they were to do a big streamer again, so they did Disney with Disney Plus internationally, if they were to do another big streamer, I don't want them on Netflix. The only ones I'd be okay with, I think would work reasonably okay, is Prime Video, Amazon Prime, or Apple TV.
See, I
Because
never
Apple TV, I think all those shows, every show I've watched on there, they all look gorgeous.
I can't see it though, because I don't think Apple
No, nor
TV.
can I.
Because I agree with you. I didn't even consider them when I was thinking about the streaming services in my mind.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's either Amazon or Netflix. They're the only two that would go for it.
Mhm.
But I think if Apple Plus did, I don't think they would give enough budget to justify being on that platform. It wouldn't have the same aesthetic.
Yeah. No, I would agree. It's very unlikely to happen, but I think because they have a lot of sci-fi on there that's very well received. I just think
Yeah.
give
And
them
I
the
don't know who's
longest running
watching it.
sci-fi show.
Who's watching is Foundation? That's Apple, isn't it? Or not
Yeah,
Foundation? Yeah, and then you've got
you got that one you recommended last week.
yeah, that's very good.
Which
Last Frontier.
yeah,
And I
but
watched
even shows that aren't sci-fi, you've got your
Slow
Shrinkins,
Horses.
your Ted Lasso, your Slow Horses.
Yeah,
You've got
everything
all
is great.
those, and they're all so strong.
And you've got Invasion, which I don't know who's watching that. I watched season 1 of that and I thought it was okay, and we're on season 4 now, I think. So it's got this audience. You've got that audience baked in on Apple, and I think they're also more discernible as an audience. They're more likely to go into something they've never seen before. Whereas with Netflix and Amazon, they're really good at releasing things that are identifiable and almost a carbon copy of what they've done before.
It's the same with Disney. It's like, because the whole plan with this Disney deal was to sort of marvelize Doctor Who, which first of all, because Doctor Who, let's face it, ever since, I'd say since Capaldi became the Doctor, globally it has not been as big. It hasn't been a big, massive thing since Smith. So I think going into it, let's turn this into like a Marvel thing. It doesn't work just saying, let's do a Marvel thing. It didn't even work for Marvel initially. Like, they stumbled. And that's two franchises that Disney have sort of messed up with trying to marvelize: Doctor Who and Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I think with let me ask you this: what do you think? Do you have any predictions as to what will be happening in this Christmas special in 2026?
I haven't got the foggies because I don't think the writers do. What I will say is I think if they're smart, they'll cast a new Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself because it's too soon for another regeneration, but I think there's going to be some sort of internal struggle with the Doctor again. That's the only way I can imagine. That's why Billie Piper's come back, and we might even get, they might even just throw a few more regens in the same episode of previous Doctors just to justify this decision. And then eventually, you know, we saw that sort of netherworld or whatever it was, that World Between Worlds where we got all the Doctors. I think it was Jodie Whittaker's final episode, wasn't it? Where
it was, yes.
They were like
The Edge, I think it's called.
Yeah, which wasn't terrible actually.
I mean, that was decent.
It was fine, but I would, I think I would end it with a new Doctor and a new writing team. If I'm honest, I don't know how you're going to get there, but 100%. That's what I'd do.
So yeah, I mean, what I would do in that one is I'd let Russell Davies go balls to the wall and have him cast a load of big celebrities and have the Doctor just keep changing faces into, like, grab Ian McKellen, get all the big names you can,
get Rowan Atkinson,
just have them there, and then as it goes through, eventually it's like, okay, they don't count, they're not numbered, don't worry, audience. And then we can have but here's what I think will happen. You have Billie Piper, so they'll get Billie Piper back, probably offer a lot of money. Oh, and what happened in 2006, so 20 years ago from when this episode is airing, the Doctor and Rose had Series 2 together. Who do we have on Earth with Donna? David Tennant. So we're going to have both of them. They will fight the Daleks, which will be an even bigger sort of fuck you to Gatwa because he didn't get to fight a Dalek. And then we'll have Russell T Davies in an interview. And yes, I did say all this just to line up an impression. So we had to bring back Billie Piper. We just had to, because I seen her and I thought, oh God, she's gorgeous. And David Tennant, what a lovely man. What a lovely, lovely man. I was hooting in the room when I wrote this. Hoot.
That is both a good and probably...
100% they will try and bring back David Tennant. They will 100% try.
Look,
he's not doing a final episode unless he can have Tennant.
No, and I think at this point, just do it, because you've already sold out with the anniversary special. You've already sold out with Billie Piper. So just give us what we want.
And then the worst thing about Billie Piper, though, sorry to cut you off there, but
no, go
on. The worst thing about her being back is it could be very interesting. But first of all, anyone I've spoken to about this or seen online talking about this, I haven't seen anyone say I'm so excited to see Billie Piper. Not that she's a bad actress, but just that in this particular role, why? It's too soon after the 60th. Bringing a familiar face back. It's too, like, if this had been in 10 years, I think at that point it might be a bit. But I think Doctor Who is becoming too reliant on the past. They're not evolving forward. They are just, because the last 3 episodes of Gatwa's series had a montage of the past faces, which used to be, like, I remember first time they did that, it's like a big moment, and then they would do it occasionally after, and it's like, oh, there's all the, and it'd be fun to sort of go, what episodes did they take this face from, and stuff like that.
I remember seeing
Capaldi, it's boom, 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 boom.
It dilutes the grandeur of it. I remember seeing Capaldi's eyes in The Day of the Doctor.
Oh yeah,
when he went to 13, all 13, or did he say that?
So it's my worst nightmares, all 12 of them. No, sir, all 13.
And that it fucking blew my head. And then I'm thinking of The Timeless Child again, and it fucking, excuse my language, but it pickles my brain so much. I want a hard reset with someone who loves the show, but I want it grounded. I want it less silly. I want a more mature show, because I think that will appeal. And it's going to sound contradictory because Doctor Who's a children's show, but I don't think it is anymore. And I think we should stop.
It's a family show that is children can watch.
Yeah.
I think Capaldi struck that balance really well.
Yeah, but we
in
need
terms of.
we need an older audience for longevity, and we need an older
I
audience
think
built
so.
in.
Yeah.
We just need it.
It's really. I think at this point, I don't even know because all the showrunners since Doctor Who came back, Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, Chris Chibnall, Russell T Davies, they're all fans of the show, and I'm not sure the next one I want a big massive fan
Well, no, we
who
shouldn't.
knows all the ins and outs. Maybe he can have or she can have an advisor beside them, sort of going, "Oh, but that would contradict this major piece." But I think someone should just come in who's just really strong, just a really strong writer, and just sort of start from the ground up, and on you go there.
Imagine someone like Mike Flanagan. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Imagine
a horror director. Imagine who's got a keen eye and knows horror beats, and you just give them one episode, and it's just a doctor and one Dalek, or I don't know. I just imagine
Also,
really prestige writing and filmmaking with the Doctor. It's never really happened, and it would be insane.
No, I mean, I would say, I'd say Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat are like, in terms of British screenwriting, like screenwriters made in the UK, they are like some of the top tier talent that you can get. They just also happen to be big fans of the show. So I'm trying to think of who you could get in to do it, because I don't want them to do the same thing where they get someone who's written one episode. Just to be honest, I don't, of the people who have written recent episodes, none of those episodes make me think, God, I'd love to see them do a full series. Whereas with Stephen Moffat, when he took over from Russell T Davies, look at all his Russell T Davies episodes and tell me that you don't want that man running the show.
Yeah, I would take him over Russell T Davies. I want someone, I don't really know writers like you do, but if I was to work backwards and look at some prestige TV that I've watched and I've thought was great, you know, the people behind True Detective, I know it doesn't marry up but I want somebody, I want it just more serious, and I want somebody who's not afraid to write things that are difficult or, you know, just downright not nice in a weird sense.
Sometimes I think so. I'm trying to think of sort of who you could get, like some of the most prestige TV. Oh, let's get the Duffer Brothers. Stranger Things is done. Let's grab them. No, take them away.
No,
Stay
absolutely
away.
not. Yeah,
I don't know. Fans struggle when there's a gap year. Imagine if there was a 6-year gap between.
Do you know?
Seasons.
Do you remember? Mindhunters. It was produced by David Fincher. I think he might have directed the pilot.
Just get David Fincher.
Oh Jesus! It would be insane. It would be incredible.
You know,
I'd set off for six. Give me 6 episodes with a showrunner like a team like that.
Yeah,
and
give me like Tony Gilroy, who did Andor.
Yeah, just mate. There's just so many.
Who did Watchmen? Did you see Watchmen?
I watched the first 3 episodes. I know it's very, very good. I've heard incredible things.
I think Damon Lindelof was involved in that. Grab him.
Yeah, just there's a. The problem is, could you get him? Probably not. You'd have to offer him a shitload of money.
Most of these people we're saying are Americans.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think it is fine, but at the same time, it is a British. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't want an American cast as the Doctor.
No, I'm not saying that.
I become very, very sort of conservative when it comes to the British values of Doctor Who. I'm like, no.
No, I get that.
Who you can cast? Who would you cast as the Doctor? And think realistically here, like someone who you can have for 3 or more series, because you don't want to have to do a fast regeneration.
So I think I would go older.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're talking anyone,
I'm talking anyone.
You said
you can,
but you. Said you needs to be based in reality. So could we get
2 answers? If you want to give the one that is out there, and if the constraints of the real production world weren't an issue, go for it. But also the one that is more sort of perhaps realistic.
All right, fair enough. So if the constraints were not there, I would go Michael Fassbender.
Fantastic choice. Yeah,
I
actor.
love him. I think he could be really weird if he wanted to, but he could play it straight.
And
I
we've
think
never
he's
had an Irish doctor.
No, I'd be on board with that. And I think as a realist, the first thing that comes to mind would be James Nesbitt.
A Jimmy Nesbitt. Hang on,
Yeah.
is he not from here as well? Northern Ireland.
He might be, yeah. Apparently, I want an Irish doctor, yeah. I mean, he's worked with, not that I would want them to work together, but he's worked with Russell T Davies on Cold Feet, hasn't he? So it's weird that he never came up as contention. Maybe in some ways.
I'm sure he's been speculated before to be in the running.
I just think he's a good leading man, and he's got a lot of range, and he could go, could go really deep with it.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Nesbitt, fair enough. I tell you, I think I have the ultimate pick as to who could be the Doctor. You may have heard of him before, David Tennant.
No.
No, I think if I was doing it, because I do think we need a stronger written female Doctor, and in order to get that, I would get Sarah Lancashire, because she is a phenomenal actress.
Yes.
Like, she was at Happy Valley, you've seen that, have you seen Last Tango in Halifax? She is phenomenal.
I know.
Like, she'd be so good, and also I would cast, I need to remind myself of her name, but I do have a master casting if they wanted to go for a Missy again, which is the lead in Motherland, Anna Maxwell Martin. I'll show you a photo of her now.
If I was to go for a female Doctor, it would be, oh yes, okay.
Yeah, I think
good.
Those two against each other, ooh, chef's kiss.
I would really like Keely Hawes as a Doctor.
She would also be brilliant because she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, speaking of that, I would also take. Have you seen Ashes to Ashes and Life on Mars?
Mm-hmm.
Who played Gene Hunt? What's his name?
Philip Glenister as the Doctor. Oh my god!
Oh, that would be interesting. You know, just pure like.
I want him to be a proper
bastards.
I was going to say I want him to be a proper Cockney. Actually, now we're going down this route. This is fun. How about, and I'd take either of these two, and you could have one of them as the Doctor and one of us as the Master. Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith.
Oh, that would be good.
That'd be interesting.
In fact, oh my god, let them write the show. Yep. That would be fantastic.
Mark Gatiss has always been involved in some capacity. They're all pals. I mean, why has this never happened? Why have they never?
They've been in it. They've both been in it.
I remember Reece Shearsmith.
He was in the Sleep No More, the found footage episode. It wasn't very good. Pemberton was in River Song's first appearance.
I remember now.
Yeah, no, they would be good.
Who would you take?
I think, a stunt casting.
Who would you take as a Doctor, though, out of the two of them? I think I've got my answer.
Shearsmith.
Because I'd go Pemberton every time.
Really? You go Steve Pemberton?
Yeah, because he's not.
I was just
gonna say he's not convention, which I like.
See, I'm thinking of Inside Number 9, and I'm thinking of sort of the characters they played, and I think Pemberton could be a good master.
Possibly, yeah. But
I
think they're both so interchangeable with whether they play the good guy or the bad guy.
They are, to be fair.
But
no, that's a good pick. I'm trying to think who else could be cast as the Doctor, and it would
Harry Enfield,
Harry Hill.
Jesus.
No, because there is so much cast. It's such a unique club to be a part of. And granted, because of how many regenerations we've had recently, do you think David Tennant has to have 2 phones for any group chats?
Possibly, yeah. I think it all depends though on the showrunner and the feel they're going for. Because if they're going campy and Matt Smithy, then I
don't want that vibe.
I don't want
childish vibe of Doctor.
So it all really is dependent on the feel of the show and what they're going for. It's so open-ended, that question.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this then. To sort of, obviously, Billie Piper popped up at the end of Reality War. If you had to bring back a previous companion and say, this time you're playing the Doctor, which actor are you bringing back to play the Doctor from a previous companion? Because I have 2 answers for this.
Ooh, I mean, it would probably be Billie Piper as one of my answers. I know that's a cop
Yeah,
out.
no,
Just because she's the most
she's a good
recognizable.
choice.
Or it would be Martha.
Oh, she'd be. Oh, they need to bring Martha back. Just have her
Yeah.
show up at some point.
Because she was very. She was
done dirty.
She was underutilized, and I think she was good.
What a woman as well.
Yeah.
I would bring back purely because I think her story with the Doctor was the most interesting exploration of that dynamic. Jenna Coleman, like Clara.
Yeah.
Or just to have a bit more fun with it, I bring back the Doctor's wife and have River Song, Alex Kingston.
People hate Jenna Coleman, don't they? Like, I feel like
people hate Clara, and I'm like, you just do not appreciate the masterful character work that was being done in that era.
I liked her.
Yeah, no, likewise. It did take me, because I was very young when those series first came out. It did take me a while to warm to them, but now they're like my favorite era of Doctor Who. Is that time. I also think visually it's the best looking era. I'll die on that hill.
No, I agree. Can I slip in one more Doctor thing that just come to mind?
Yeah, of course.
Simon Pegg,
Nick Frost, even. I'd take Nick Frost. Yeah. In terms of, there's so many. Oh, what's her name? She was in Years and Years with Russell T Davies. I'm gonna get her up here. She's actually been in Doctor Who before, but so what? Britain only has like Tania Miller. This actress right here.
Oh yes, yeah.
She's a good actress, like, and I think it would be, because I think you do need to sort of, sooner rather than later, I think you need to do another female Doctor.
She's actually worked with Mike Flanagan as well. So
yes, she was in Bly Manor, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, she's a good actress, because there's great bits in Years and Years where, like, when she's talking, sometimes she'll slip into, like, I think it's Jamaican, or it might be a different language. I don't want to do racism here. But it might be, I think it's Jamaican. I think that would be fun to add to the Doctor.
Yeah,
have him slip between.
Yeah, and we kind of got that's one of the few things I liked about Ncuti Gatwa's run is the barbershop episode I liked as well, and I liked the fact it went into like culture, cultural differences, and I really liked seeing that, because if you're gonna give us the first Black Doctor, go into the cultural aspects of that as well. It's one of the few episodes, Jodie Whittaker's episode as well. You know what I'm going to talk about with I forget her name now. The companion,
Rosa Parks.
No. Well, I mean, that was a good episode, but no.
I genuinely thought, has he forgotten Rosa Parks' name? That's bad optics.
No, he's his companion, who was the police officer. Yaz. You know, when they went to Pakistan.
I hated that episode.
I loved it.
I was bored. And that's the worst thing TV can do to you, if you're bored.
I agree. I just think I loved, again, that it fleshed out a lot of the culture and stuff in it, and so I really like that one. But
that's fair enough.
I agree with you. I think she would be a good Doctor. But if we can bring this to a close, on one of the most notable thing that's going to happen before this sort of revamp or whatever we're going to get, even though I would agree that the Christmas special probably isn't going to be the start of something new, but rather the end of something old.
Epilogue.
Yeah, which is going to, I just want it to finish now. I want this era to sort of end now.
I want them to get straight into production with new people, so that there's not a big gap after it ends next year, because I don't think it's going to be a...
And give us a big announcement.
Episode.
Don't just give us Instagram.
Just do an Instagram
Make it
post.
a thing. Make it a thing, man. Like,
that's a whole other thing. Like, Gatwa just didn't get the sort of respect that all the other actors got, I think, the way everything happened. But with that, there is one final bit to talk about, and that is that this was supposed to be coming out next year, but I think BBC just want it out now, and they have nothing else over Christmas. So in December, we have the 5-episode spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, and it will release in Disney Plus in 2026 internationally. So it's not releasing at the same time. Are you excited for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the trailer
It's
looked
weird.
good.
It's weird, isn't it? The trailer looked great.
Like,
I got Black Panther 2 vibes from it actually. Weirdly,
yeah, I think that might be the vibe. And also, one of my favorite things, occasionally my favorite thing from the Doctor Who universe, is the 5-part Torchwood series, Children of Earth. So if they're doing another 5-part, and if they take it down that route, similar to Children of Earth, I'm gonna love this show.
I'm very excited.
Also, Russell
actually.
Tovey's a very skilled actor.
I like him.
The Sea Devils, in modern audiences, they're not particularly.
No, but they've been redesigned by the look of it.
They have. It's which obviously was Disney money. That redesign, I don't think BBC could have pulled that off. Well, we've seen what BBC did with the Sea Devils.
Yeah.
One of the most boring episodes I've ever watched.
Oh, just seeing Jodie Whittaker swing about with a pirate hat on.
Don't let the swords touch your skin. Really? I know these are like magic swords or whatever, but really, don't let the sword with the blade, touch your skin. Really, Jodie? Thanks, Doctor. I was just gonna grab it like that.
And then, you know what I'm doing with that. I'm not praying. And the mask that just doesn't move, and you can tell like it was, it could articulate, could do like 4 or 5 movements with the face to try and look like it's moving, but it was So that was the best.
It's a good adoption of the classic design, but also a good reason as to why you should modernize things.
Absolutely. So
move on.
The best part about the end of that, the end of season 2 was that trailer tacked on at the end. I enjoyed that trailer more than anything that had come before it. So yeah, I'm quite excited. Weirdly, here's a question for you: what happens if that does really well?
If that does really well, Disney have already pulled out. It's more like it's gonna be like a wet fart.
But let's say it does really well. Do you think there's a chance the Beeb would just, if they was to sort of almost do a new continuity, which would be ballsy, if there was to do something, do you think there's a potential they could keep it in, or do you think it's going to be, actually you've got S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything in there, so you'd have to bring all them back, wouldn't you? S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh.
Well, I mean, they have Avengers Tower.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm going to say it, with the exception of Kate Stewart, who I think would have to go along with the rest of them. Get rid of everything about UNIT for now.
Get rid of this iteration of UNIT, because they're too sort of, we're such lovely people. You're a militant organization. These aren't lovely people deep down. Kate Stewart worked for a bit, but at this point it's played out. I'm sick and tired of her going, my father.
Yeah.
Really? All right. Come to wrestling.
Yeah. She was good, but I'm kind of done with her now. I'm done with UNIT.
Yeah, I think UNIT needs a rest. No, I am excited for this. It's 5 episodes. It's written by Russell Davies and Pete McTighe. I don't know. He wrote 2 episodes in Jodie Whittaker's era, and he wrote the episode this year called what was it called? Lucky Day, where it's the Dr. Light story, and it's Ruby after events of the Doctor, which I enjoyed that episode. It has some narrative issues, but I enjoyed it overall. So I am optimistic for this show, and I'm less optimistic for what will happen with the Christmas special next year.
I think we have the same sentiments.
I think that Christmas special, it's going to be rough to. I'm just imagining all the reactions to it. It's not going to please everyone. It's going to be a mess, I think.
I'm fearful it won't end with like a casting or anything, and it'll just kind of leave you wondering again. Yeah, but at the same time, there's a reason they've given themselves an entire year, and if it were me, it would be to cast a new Doctor.
You need something, even if the episode itself ends on like black screen, and no reveal, announcement straight after. You need to have something. If you can't do it, because my God, nothing was confirmed after the reality war this year. We just had Billie Piper's face. Doctor Who fans have been a meltdown. Doctor Who fans are a very fickle bunch. but arguably, I think a lot of them don't really like the show. I love the show. I will keep watching the show.
I'm
But
the same. It doesn't
just,
matter what it doesn't matter how much I'm disagreeing with every decision made. I will always
Yeah.
tune in. I will always
And
pop it on.
you know what? I feel like we've kind of bashed a lot of the recent era, but I will say this: I would rather rewatch a Russell T Davies 2 era episode because they at least in some way would entertain me, whether it be some bit of dialogue or just something would entertain me in it, as opposed to most of Jodie Whittaker's run. Other than her final episode, I haven't rewatched any of hers.
I would rather pull out my pubes with a pair of tweezers and watch any of it.
No, that's fair. That's valid. But here, what about Boom? You'd give Boom a watch.
I like
sure.
Boom. All jokes aside, I also really enjoyed Jodie Whittaker's first episode. Actually,
her first episode was good because I think there's a certain template to a new Doctor first episode, with the exception of Gatwa, because it was like, I think that was Russell T Davies going, "Oh well, I've done all that. I did all that before introducing a new Doctor, so I'm just not going to do that this time."
Yeah, but if I did have to watch one episode from this era in total, from let's say Jodie Whittaker, we'll include Jodie Whittaker, even though it's kind of not, but we'll include Jodie Whittaker and Ncuti Gatwa's run. I would say the best and ultimate episode from all of those would have to be Space Babies.
You're correct. The only one I think would give it a run for its money is Space Racists.
Yeah, those two are just great. Back to back.
To be fair, though, there's like 1 minute of that Space Racists episode which is really good, and you know the minute I'm talking about. Everything before
that. Good allegory, but don't
hit
us over the head with it. But it was a good allegory.
No, exactly. Now, you may have seen at the start of this episode, and this is purposely for me. You may have seen at the start of this episode, I had Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver, which initially I wasn't a big fan of. Well, I have each and every Sonic Screwdriver lined up. I have David Tennant's. I have the laser screwdriver that the Master had. River Song's, Matt Smith's, Jodie Whittaker's, and David Tennant's 14th Doctor. Now, I don't have a Ncuti Gatwa one, so if anyone I know is listening to this, Christmas is coming up, you know, there's a Ncuti Gatwa screwdriver out there. Just throwing that out there. That was purely self-serving. We can cut that out in the edit.
No, we're leaving it in now. We're gonna. You've asked people openly for a gift for Christmas, so below the video is going to be the mailing address. So
yes,
send whatever you want to him, even if it's hate mail.
Yeah, do whatever. Yes, and also, I think we've sort of covered everything to do with Doctor Who. So shall we bring this to a close?
Yes, bring it to a close. Thank you for listening. Rate, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. I think we might be...
particularly if you are listening on Spotify, Ryan, if you are listening on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. If you're leaving any less than 5 stars, don't bother. 5 stars will really help.
Yeah, Ryan Byrne. I'm also going to at my manager, Jake, if he does listen to this, because he followed when we went to Prime Minister. If he's still listening to this episode, despite not liking Doctor Who, just well done. Well done to anyone who's
I am also going to give a shout out to my mum, who I know will be listening, because she said to me the other night that she really looks forward to this podcast every week. She thinks you look a lot younger than you are, Andrew. She could not believe that you were 8 years older than me. So there you go. Take that. Well, or I look shit for my age. It's one of the two.
Well, I'm using a better quality camera this week, so all will be revealed. And the texture of my face is clearer, so should make you look better, Nathaniel.
Well, I don't know. But yes, thank you so much for listening to this, especially if you have listened the whole way through. You might not be an avid Doctor Who fan, but thank you very much for listening, and tune in next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, I'm waving. Oh, I got bellyache.
Shall we stop?
I'm trying. I thought it was stop.